Episode 7 coming at you. Trust the process. Mike, Skylar, me, Keith, obviously. But
I didn't know that.
Yeah, in case you didn't know, I'm Keith. We're going to talk a little free agency and a little college basketball. It's March.
Best time of the year.
Let's go ahead and start with the Jaguars. What do you guys think so far of this free agent signing?
They did great. They got multiple key players in key positions of need. They got a better safety than Cyprian. They got a cornerback to go alongside Ramsey to help lock down that secondary. They got a veteran defensive lineman that's going to help bring a nice presence for the young pass rushers. So I feel like they did well. They obviously didn't go after offensive line as much as people planned or thought they would. But there's the draft, so they can just stock up on young players. What are your thoughts?
I like the way the Jags went after it. They went after the big name. They went after A.J. Boye from Houston. They went after Calais Campbell, who is a veteran defensive lineman, which we need after we let go of Jared Odrick, Tyson Awalu, who else do we get? Roy Miller, Derek Marks. So we need some veteran experience and someone who has been consistent and gets to the quarterback, gets pressure. I like Calais Campbell signing a lot, but I think an underrated signing was Barry Church because he was much better he looked better than Cyprian last year. And from what I heard from Dallas Cowboys fans, they actually did not want to lose him.
Yeah.
They couldn't afford to lose. They couldn't afford him, but they didn't want to lose him.
Yeah, well, the body type, you could tell he's big, he's fast, he's physical. Cyprian was big, but I guess his main thing was tackling and the runner, but he could not cover, which is a pretty big thing when it comes to being a safety,
Only some of that, Keith?
He was pretty bad.
Yeah. But one thing I did not like is how all these rumors of Jaguars going after T.J. Lang, Kevin Zeitler, Ronald Leary, any of these guards or tackles in free agency, not one came to Jacksonville. And the O-line class is actually, I don't think is that good in the draft. But I don't know what they're going to do to address it. Maybe trade for someone, maybe sign one of these older free agents, I don't know.
Well, I guess their thought process is to bolster up the defense, only allow 14 points a game, and hope that Blake can score over 14 points within those games. So
that's what I'm thinking. I think they're going to it all falls down on Blake Bortles.
Yeah, and I really rely on the mindset of defense winning championships. We saw that with Seattle, with Denver. They had to take their focus off of Peyton Manning and put it on the defense, and that's how they got the title. Was from their defense, not from Peyton Manning, because that season he was probably the worst quarterback in the league. He got replaced by Brock Osweiler midway through the season.
And we know how that ended up for Osweiler.
Yeah, it got him a fat check, but
he's trying to get shipped out of Cleveland right now, which is
God,
that's not a good sign for you.
Yeah.
In the words of Joakim Noah, you want to go to Cleveland? You want a vacation here?
But I like the A.J. Boye signing a lot. I try to convince my friends that he's actually going to be a really good corner for Jacksonville. And it gives Jalen Ramsey a tandem. Like that, Jalen and A.J. can be one of the best cornerback duos in the league.
Should we talk about that silly quote that what DeAndre Hopkins said?
I was just saying the same thing.
Ramsey better not be the one that should be Boye. Oh, all right. That's just that makes me more excited for the football season because since we got to light a fire under this defense to play even harder against the Texans, who have been kind of the king the past 3 years because the Colts have been like, and so we don't have any excuses.
I cannot wait till see Ramsey Hopkins whenever we play them.
You know what it's gonna look like? It's gonna look like Andre Johnson and Cortland Finnegan. Remember when they got in that fight?
Yeah, I was thinking that or Odell and Norman and Josh Norman.
Yeah, that too.
It's gonna be a good rivalry for the next few years.
Except they're not gonna be all buddy friendly like Norman and Odell are. And
now they are. They weren't.
Yeah.
Did you see Okay, so obviously Hopkins tweeted this stuff, but then he deletes his tweet. Or did you see the one about him on third down? This is how you do it. It shows him catching a 6-yard slant
and gets tackled.
And he gets tackled
short
by
of the
Jalen.
first, yeah.
It's okay, great. So then The other video by Cole Hartley comes out and just bashes him. It's like 3rd down, he gets denied twice. It's like, sit down, take your seat.
DeAndre,
we'll see you on the field.
Yeah, exactly.
And Boye doesn't have to be a number 1 cornerback.
Oh, no,
Ramsey's already a shutdown corner in my eyes. Boye just has to be a decent one. And you know what? I think he's gonna be even more than decent. He's gonna be good. And
hopefully it doesn't turn. Hopefully it turns into another Jalen Ramsey.
What quarterbacks is he playing? He's playing a Mariota that's coming off of injury. Playing Andrew Luck, who has no O-line and no defense. They're gonna be playing catch up the whole time.
Yeah.
And then
and to be determined in Houston.
Yeah. And we might get the guy they're going after. Who knows?
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be interesting because Jalen, if he stays on the number 1 receiver, Boye is like a really good 2, so they're going to be targeting him more. And I think with his history, I think he'll get at least 3 or 4 interceptions this year.
Yeah, that's going to fluster quarterbacks. They're going to try to throw it up the middle, and we got Telvin there, who's great in coverage.
Oh, yes.
We got Miles Jack, who's going to be bringing the speed, covering everywhere. We know he can cover.
Thank God.
I'm not sure about
Dan scoot up on the field.
And then I'm not sure about Puzzlesny. Where he's gonna be, if he's gonna be in middle or
we'll see come
side,
April. We'll see if we draft someone. Well, that's another topic, but day. But I don't know where they're going now with all these free agency moves.
Yeah.
Well, since we still have some time left, who do you think should be like the number 1 target for the Jags going on?
Well, are you talking draft or
free agency? I'm sorry.
I personally want to go after a guard or someone on the line. I would like to go after Nick Mangold. He's got playoff experience. He's a leader, and he would help if we bring him in as the center, for example, as he played in New York. Move Linder to guard, because that's where we drafted him to be. But since center was not that good his first 2 years, he had to come over to center. He did pretty well, but I think we move him back to his position. We can solidify the line and get Amame as depth just in case.
Yeah, I like the idea of getting another offensive lineman as depth. And you know what, that's perfectly fine with me, depending on if it's Nick Mangold or some other veteran. We'll see how that plays out, the offensive line. That might be the biggest concern right now, other than Blake, but Blake's play can also be a result of how the O-line plays. If they play pretty well, Blake probably can have a decent season because
it's true.
He's
Protection is key.
Yeah, I think in 2015, obviously not last year, his bad year, but the year before, he might have been like one of the top quarterbacks when he had more than 3 seconds to throw.
Yeah.
So
another free agent I like to see is Dontari Poe, the defensive tackle from Kansas City.
We
didn't beef up that one
already, right?
Yeah. He's going to Miami now to visit them.
He's keeping his options open, which is understandable, but I would like to see him because we just cut the majority of our defensive line, so add more depth, like I said earlier.
Yeah. I feel like the reason why he hasn't signed yet is he's either asking for too much money or there's an underlying injury within that, because he's already visited so many teams, and you'd think.
And if he's asking for a lot of money, there's only one team that I've seen that he's visited with all the cap space, and that's Jacksonville. So I don't know if they're gonna budge or what the deal is with that, but we'll see.
Neither of you guys said Tony Romo?
He's not a free agent yet.
But I mean, you don't want him?
If he's a free agent, maybe. No, I'm not trading away a draft pick for him.
Okay. It's March, guys.
Yes! Finally!
Diaper Dandy!
Unbelievable!
BMOC, baby! Dickie V in the house, let's go! Yeah, March Madness!
I much prefer Gus and Rafferty. That's scary.
I don't know, you can't top Diggy V during basketball season at all. Anyways, let's get down to it. March Madness.
Did you guys fill out your brackets?
Oh yeah, right here.
About 5 minutes
rushed to
ago.
fill mine out today. So why don't we just say, let's go with like the biggest like whoa kind of thing. Not necessarily the largest upset, but just like this is what I think is going to happen that might not be normal. What everyone else is picking.
Mm-hmm.
What's normal? Because
what's normal is 1 beating 16, you know, the average stuff, and then the 12 beats the 5. Okay, yeah, everyone says that.
I have a 12 beating a 5. I don't know how exciting that is. There's nothing too crazy about mine. I have some lower seeds going. That like I have 11 going to the Sweet 16, K-State from the South bracket. I have Wichita State, number 10 seed, going to the Elite 8. Providence.
Yes, they beat Kentucky, right?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, and I got Providence beating, making it to the Elite 8, beating Duke. That's about it. You got Princeton, they get to the Sweet 16, but I always choose an Ivy League school, and they always seem to pull out an upset.
They're hot too. They've won 5 in a row.
Those are some smart kids at Princeton. They study hard. They know their academics and athletics.
They probably have like a class for bracketology or something.
They'd probably still fail because it's March Madness.
Mike, what about you? Anything stand out on your bracket?
I've got in the East, I've got New Mexico State going to the Sweet 16, beating Baylor in the first round, and then either SMU, Providence, or Southern Cal, whichever one wins that game. I've got Michigan. I think it's a dark horse. I don't know why. I've been telling my friends the other day after they won the Big Ten tournament. They remind me of when UConn went on that run, when they won the Big East with Kemba. I think they can make a deep run.
Good old Kemba.
Yeah.
I've got them going to the Elite 8, and then I've got Florida State going to the Elite 8. They've got the talent, but can they be consistent? That's the thing.
Well, speaking of going deep, I have Michigan in the Final Four too.
Nice.
So.
I mean, I've got them going to the Elite 8. I've got them losing to KU, but
you have you having Baylor getting upset. That's pretty common for them.
Yeah, that's why I'm going to New Mexico State because every year.
I remember when they got upset here by Georgia State.
Yep, by
R.J. Hunter,
buzzer beater. Yep.
Him and his dad. His dad was sitting on a stool because he hurt his leg and he fell off the stool. Scott and I were outside Veterans Memorial Arena when that happened. We watched it on the TV. We're like, oh my goodness, we got to see Xavier play.
Yeah.
But that's actually for mine. Even without Ed Sumner, I still have Xavier beating Maryland and then beating Florida State, making it to the Sweet 16. I've got Purdue actually making it to the Elite 8, knocking off Iowa State and Kansas in the way. Other than that, I got Middle Tennessee State beating Minnesota. That's my 12-5 upset. Yeah, nothing too crazy on my end.
Yeah, the reason why I also picked Baylor because last year they lost also to Yale.
See the Ivy League.
Exactly. So I'm not a fan of Baylor at all in college.
Princeton wins it all.
In the tournament results. They always lose.
Princeton wins it once.
Yeah.
All right. Well, my Final Four is 3 number 2 seeds. I've got Duke, Arizona, coming in on the left side, and Louisville. And then number 3, UCLA on the right side. I've got UCLA winning it all. I like Lonzo Ball. I think he's a really good leader. I want to see him in Orlando, so I'm a little bit biased because of that. And I rushed, so don't judge me. Sure. All right. What about you guys?
Well, I don't have UCLA going that far. They lost to K-State in my round of 32.
Kansas State's got to win tonight.
Yeah.
Well, they're actually winning at halftime.
40-36. And, anyways, my Final Four consists of Villanova going up against Gonzaga, and then Michigan going up against Butler. So, y'all think it's pretty generic. I still look at 3 of these schools as small schools, Even though they got high seeds, they're still pretty small schools.
Yeah, they are.
But that also brings in the potential for big upsets this year. But, and it is a tough year to choose. Go ahead, go with your Final Four.
I got 2 number 1 seeds. I've got Kansas out of the Midwest, and then I've got Gonzaga going out of the West, and I've got 2 number 2 seeds in Duke and Kentucky, and I've got a Duke-Kansas championship game, and I've got Kansas winning it all. Rock Chalk Jayhawk. That's what I've got.
You both have Gonzaga in your Final Four. I don't trust Gonzaga.
I don't either, but the East is...
I have them getting upset by West Virginia.
I don't trust West Virginia.
I actually did have Princeton winning 2 games, and Princeton beats West Virginia in my bracket to play Gonzaga. So that's why I feel confident having Zaga go that way to the Final Four. They have a pretty easy route if you look at it. I got them going up against Northwestern. My grandpa went to Northwestern, so I picked them for the round 6.
Has someone that went to Northwestern, I swear to God.
Anyways, yeah.
But no, I picked Gonzaga. I got them going to the Final Four. I've got them...
It just looks too easy from that side, except for maybe FSU.
Or Notre Dame. Notre Dame's
Do neither of you guys have any faith in Arizona?
Oh God, no! I have them losing in the second round to SMU, or I'm sorry, St. Mary's.
I don't know. I don't know if I trust Pac-12 basketball or whatever.
That's why I'm with him on that. I'm not a fan of Pac-12 basketball, but that's why it's called March Madness, and no one's ever right.
Yeah.
That's why we had the ladies of the show fill out their brackets based on just whatchamacallit.
Mascots, team names, whatever you want to call it. I have my girlfriend's right here. She has plenty of upsets. Let's see. We'll start off with she's got only one number 1 seed winning the round of 64, and that's the Gonzaga Bulldogs. Sorry, anything Bulldogs was moving on really for her. Yeah, we'll go with her Final Four. Her Final Four was the Bears, which she said Bears beat Battlestar Galactica, going up against Bucknell Bison, 13 seed. Because
they're in the tournament. I don't even know.
Well, their mascot name is Bucky the Bison, and she thought that was really cute.
Ted's is good too. So.
Going up against on the other side, Midwest and the South, she's got the Nevada Wolf Pack, which she claims is just a giant pack of dogs. You know, another side. And then the Butler Bulldogs down in the South. So we got one Final Four similar team.
Alright, yeah, you guys got that going.
And then so in the final, she's got the Wolfpack versus the Bears, but she likes bears more than Wolfpack. We do have a dog that looks like a bear, so that could go into it too.
So she picked Baylor, the team we were just bashing.
I bashed. I mean, I'm not a fan of that.
You know, I don't like Baylor either, but if you're going based off of bears, well, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, you can't. And they've got some ridiculous uniforms too. So.
No, the highlight. Oh, I'm not looking forward to that. Them in Oregon.
Yeah. That's the highlight of their play.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, they got a bunch of issues with their schools, but with their just school.
If they win the national championship, that's just a story.
What about Dacia's Final Four?
Dacia's got Duke in the Final Four along with Notre Dame, and on the other side she's got Oregon and North Carolina, and she's got ACC, three ACC teams, and in the championship she's got the greatest rivalry. Duke, North Carolina, and she's got Duke winning over North Carolina.
And her bracket might make the most sense out of all of ours, to be honest.
That would
and
be
honestly,
insane.
if North Carolina loses a second straight year, and especially to a rival, that's going to be another crying Jordan meme. Just another Jordan.
The entire program would just fall off.
Their whole school would change their logo to a Michael Jordan crying meme.
And I know North Carolina fan.
Crying Jordans.
I know North Carolina fan Nick. You better be careful, because we got jokes on him last year. And he was watching the game at the library. He was literally crying because of the buzzer beater. We put the crying Jordan on his face. We don't put this on the video, so.
Yeah. Well, one thing we didn't mention was how we have our local teams going in our brackets. You know, Florida, FSU, and Miami. So we got all 3 major schools in the tournament this year. 2 of them with some pretty good talent. Who wants to start?
I mean, I'll start. I've got FSU going to the Elite Eight because they've got the talent, and I think they've got talent to go to the Elite Eight. But if they lose earlier, it's because of their free throws and inconsistency. As for Miami, I've got them beating Michigan State but losing to KU. And Florida fans are not going to like me for this, but I have them losing in the first round to East Tennessee State.
Keith, you can go off of that too.
I also have them losing. I don't really have faith in the state of Florida this year.
Fair.
I have East Tennessee State winning, and I have Miami also losing to Michigan State just because of Michigan State's pedigree. I have them
winning. I have them winning the first game.
You have Miami winning?
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
I'm not picking Michigan State after last year's collapse.
I still pick them just because I don't trust Miami. And I have Florida State beating Dunk City bull crap that I keep hearing. But I have them actually losing to Xavier in the next round because of Xavier's pedigree and Florida State's inconsistency.
Yeah. Ow. Alright, so, you know, Florida State I did have going the furthest out of all 3 local teams. I had them in the Elite Eight. Their biggest challenge might actually be Florida Gulf Coast. I wanted to pick Florida Gulf Coast as my underdog before this bracket came out, but I do think FSU has a good chance to make a deep run. Depends on how deep they go. Let's see. I got UF getting past East Tennessee State. I know that's a surprise.
At least on here.
Yeah. I wouldn't be upset if East Tennessee State won either, because I got a bunch of family up in Johnson City. We got 10 acres of property up in Gray, Tennessee, which is like 5 minutes out of there. And my cousin, his high school was actually at the college, so he would actually have to go to East Tennessee State for his classes.
That's a pretty cool idea,
Yeah.
actually. I like that.
Yeah, it's a small town. But it's really cool up there. But yeah, I have UF making it to the Sweet 16, losing to Nova. We'll see how they do. They're missing Igbunu, obviously, their big man, and then Canyon Berry's been hurt. And losing in the SEC tournament didn't look good either. I do have Michigan making it past Michigan, excuse me, I had Miami beating Michigan State. And Miami loses to Kansas after that. And then I'm not sure if we mentioned the national champions. I guess you said
I got
Kansas.
Rock Chalk Jayhawk.
And I
Kansas
got,
UCLA.
yeah, I have Nova over Michigan. And and so we'll post these brackets, I guess, to our new Instagram if y'all aren't following yet, so y'all can keep track with it too.
That's at TTPRCR. Remember that.
Follow us, comment, like all pictures.
No nudes, please.
Okay.
Just send your brackets to us.
All right.
Just please send out your brackets so we can see how we do in comparison, see if we're the experts or if y'all are.
Yeah, don't take us too seriously. We filled these out pretty quickly, but hey, if you want to, we'll take the respect.
Yeah.
I was about to sneeze.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's probably just gonna be like.
Yeah.
Yeah, he already ripped
I
his.
already ripped mine, but. Oh.
It's
That's because you had the Privateers winning, right?
Yeah.
That's a part of the madness. That's why. Yeah, I'm already 0-1. I had the Privateers winning too.
I wisely chose Mount Center.
I didn't even pick that game because either way they're both gonna lose to Villanova. Unless a 16 actually does beat a 1, but we'll see about that.
I doubt it. Wrapping things up, we didn't mention the sneak peek that we were going to. We have a few more details we want to iron out first before we do that. We had to wait for this guy to get back from the Bahamas so we could talk to him about it. How was that, by the way?
Very cloudy. We didn't actually get to go to a beach. Ate a bunch of food. That's their flag for you uncultured people.
No, I know. I feel so much more cultured now. Thank you. And it was made in China. That's respectful to the Bahamians or whatever.
Bahamians.
Bahamians?
The Bahamas,
Awesome.
They're very small islands, so I mean, I don't know if they could put a factory on there.
That's true. They probably couldn't. They would probably sink into the sand.
Anyway, it'd be under the sea.
And on that note,
hey guys, thanks for trusting the process. We'll see you next time, alright?
Gucci.
Peace.